I'd like to welcome you all here tonight to Sustainability Matters. We're going to be hearing from a range of amazing local businesses tonight, and I'm sure you'll be inspired as I have been getting to know them and their stories.
The theme for today's webinar is business innovation and the circular economy. Two topics that are very, very dear and close to my heart. All levels of government, our businesses and the community are realising that we can no longer continue to take, make and waste. That model does not exist for us. When we turn natural resources into waste, often only for a brief period of time, for this use, it is consumerism and it's a throwaway society. It's just not sustainable anymore, and we know we can do better. We need a shift to a circular economy, a way of thinking and being and embracing the borrow, use, return model that we see in nature. This thinking sits in the heart of the circular economy. Many businesses in Darebin are leading the way in the circular economy thinking and business models. Tonight, we'll be hearing from some of them here this evening.
My name is Amanda Morgan. I'm one of the co-founders of Fungi Solutions, and I also head up the research and development team of our organisation. Fungi Solutions diverts valuable resources from landfill and uses mushrooms to produce sustainable alternatives to single-use plastics. These materials are called mycomaterials. We saw that a huge amount of effort went into producing the raw materials that we need for everyday life and production, and a vast majority of that was ending up in landfill. We thought that that was a huge missed opportunity. We wanted to reimagine what that waste could do. I began working with textile waste during my years studying and began cultivating mushrooms on textiles as a way to recycle those materials. You're using waste to produce your products. It's very hands-off. But then it also goes on to produce like a suite of material properties that have great performance, lightweight, durable, acoustically and thermally insulating, and fire retardant, and then is also fully home compostable at the end of use. Our community network of partnerships allow us to connect up with local agricultural producers. So as an example, we take in grape skins, stems and seeds from a local organic winemaker. We bring that back into our facility and use it to cultivate our products. We take in materials like discarded cigarette butts, and we use them as part of our trial program to see if there might be any opportunities to produce a clean material byproduct from the process. There seems to be this really interesting spirit of collaboration and partnership happening. We partnered up with Bridge Darebin, for example, and we take in some food waste from their Enrich 360 project that comes to us and feeds our mushrooms. And we donate those mushrooms back to the social enterprise cafe, Moon Rabbit. Our plans for the future of Fungi Solutions is to establish microcycling facilities wherever there's waste needs in our community, and facilitate anything from a micro facility that might just be a small amount of space and a couple of tons of waste a year, right up to larger commercial operations that'll really be able to support that transition away from petrochemical materials. I think anytime you take something from a really great idea right through the prototyping and the development phase, which takes quite a while, and then establishing a full organisation around it, it just takes a lot of time and resources. We found really amazing support from the community, which has absolutely helped in that process, but it's still a massive undertaking to set up something new like this and get the groundwork in place for real impact to be created. So it started small and now it feels like it's coming alive. Yeah. In Victoria alone, we send 1.52 million tonnes of organic waste to landfill each year. That equates to roughly $1.21 billion in lost revenue. I am one of the co-founders of Fungi Solutions, where we turn waste into revenue using mushrooms. We are a social enterprise providing revenue streams for communities by taking in their organic waste and transforming it into sustainable products and packaging. We produce beautiful, natural, custom alternatives to single-use plastics. This is accomplished by the natural properties of the mycelium of our fungi cultures. We work primarily with Australian species and local Australian substrates. The mycelium feeds on the organic wastes and bonds them together by growing into this web-like structure that can be moulded to form. These materials are ideal for applications where you might have previously used polystyrene or heat-moulded synthetics. Micromaterials are lightweight, insulating, fully home compostable, sequester carbon, and can be grown to form in just 7 days. At the end of their life, they can then be reintroduced back into the agricultural processing in order to nourish the soil, improve aeration, water retention, and introduce healthy nutrients to the microbiome there, generating a fully circular and ongoing positive impact through their use. We're passionate about growing a circular economy industry in Darebin from the ground up. By partnering with local businesses, we assess new waste streams which have allowed us to recover organic agricultural offcuts, food and beverage excesses, sawdust, textiles, grain husks, nut and seed hulls, cardboard and paper to divert into new products. Our microcycling facilities can be established wherever there is waste, and our mission is to create a circular economy of opportunities Australia-wide. They require very little inputs in terms of electricity and water, and it's a largely hands-off process where the mushrooms do the cultivating. They're grown to form in just 7 days, and then they're simply dehydrated to render them into an inert material. To date, our microcycling programs have allowed us to divert 888 kilograms of resources from landfill, 2,250 kilograms of CO2 equivalent sequestered through our programs, and we've collected 138,760 discarded cigarette filters for our research into new recycling streams. We are looking to connect with businesses and communities to join us to transform waste into growth. So I would love to speak to anyone here that might have a waste source in their organisation or know of someone that has some on their hands. We'd love to support in recovering those resources from landfill and developing better alternatives for our future.
If we want to move into circular economy, we have to think in a different way where we buy products which we know are going to last for a very long time. Me and my partner have been operating the Sunny Electronics and Green Earth Recycle since 2008. Principally, our focus is on refurbished goods. We found this gap in the market where there were so many goods around which could easily be refurbished. Why would you throw away a working fridge? It has a small minor problem somewhere which can be just fixed. There are economies in the world where they could have been used for the next 20, 30 more years. Sunny is a fridge technician, and I had the know-how or the experience of marketing. We do get customers specifically asking for second-hand items because they care for the environment. Most of the times we know that fridges can be refurbished quite easily. All the fridges which we cannot refurbish, we degas them. The gas from each fridge is safely collected and it is disposed of according to government guidelines. The gas from one fridge contributes to the greenhouse gases equal to what a car would contribute if it's run for 6 months, which goes into the atmosphere if it is not decommissioned properly. Once degassed, we pull them apart and send the whole body for metal recycling. Those recycled parts of the fridge will not have the same value as the original product because they have to be reworked into something else. Whereas if you refurbish the fridge, it remains in its original form. Yeah, first stop is always refurbishing. Our biggest challenge, some new brands which have come up with very cheap prices on their brand new fridges, and the prices are actually cheaper than a basic second-hand fridge. Lots of people have got this misconception that once it's refurbished, it's going to break down very soon. But from experience, we know we sell a refurbished fridge and it can go on for 10, 15 years. With all of our refurbished goods, they all come with warranties. We give the warranty because we know that what we have repaired or refurbished is up to the standard or even better than what it originally was. We try to cut down on costs and save electricity, water. We have changed to LED lighting. Sunny has come up with this recycled tank and made this whole system himself. So we can reuse the water which is used for testing washing machines. Apart from refurbished goods, we also sell some brand new fridges and washing machines and stuff. So we reuse the packaging which comes off the brand new items, and we use it to transport our second-hand items as well whenever we need to. We're really happy that Darebin Council is recognizing businesses which are doing their bit for the environment. Council does help in creating awareness as well. It gives me a lot of satisfaction to see that we are creating that awareness amongst our consumers that refurbished goods are as good as or even better than the brand new items which are available in the market. We are migrants, and when we moved to Australia, we saw that here it's cheaper to buy something new than to repair something. And that's what people are used to doing. Things are changing over the years, but when we actually came here, that's what we saw. And it was actually a culture shock, or because how can you just throw away something which is perfectly working, just needs a minor tweak, and it can be used for so many more years. So that's pretty much why we started the business. And we moved into our first shop in Thornbury in 2009. So we started refurbishing fridges and washing machines, dryers, basically white goods. If we were not doing it, obviously all of those would have gone into landfill. So even without realizing, we were working in the circular economy, at least refurbishing and reusing. At one point of time, we actually had the largest stock of refurbished items in Melbourne. So we were really well known as a second-hand dealer. But slowly we had to introduce brand new products as well for the business to be viable. And that's why we've added brand new products, but still refurbishing is our core business. When we started really small. So we've always tried to keep our overheads low. We have always used second-hand computers, refurbished furniture. Because we've always had a good experience with that, we've never needed to buy anything brand new. I think last year was the very first time I bought a brand new laptop. So, and same thing in business, we try to keep our overheads low by changing to LED lights. We try to reuse the packaging, as we saw in the video, as much as we can, and all of that. With our packaging and all of that, we also get lots of community, like small schools and people who are doing projects. They approach us and they take the packaging off our hands many times. So that's also, it's good to know that it's not going into just rubbish. As we saw, that's the water tank which Sunny has set up. It recycles our water. When we initially started, we realized we were getting really huge water bills. And we realized all the water which is used in testing washing machines is clean water. It's just going down the drain. So we set up this system where it's all used quite a few times, I think 20 odd times before it actually goes. And it has drastically reduced our water bills. So that's something which we always try to work on, reducing costs, because I've found out that reducing costs works hand in hand in reducing the carbon footprint. So even if you're just focused on reducing costs, that itself is a good start. In 2017, we set up Green Earth Recycle as a separate entity because that was more focused on refurbishing, reusing, and recycling, specifically because fridges, we noticed, everybody must have seen fridges sitting on the nature strip, especially with the council rubbish collection happening nowadays. And those fridges are not degassed. And anytime somebody cuts the motor off, the gases escape into the environment. And that is what causes the ozone depletion and greenhouse gas effects. So we try to remove the fridges from the customer, degas them, and then recycle them. So in 2021 alone, we did about 2,500 fridges, which would have just gone into the atmosphere, but we degas them. That slide gives you an indication of what happens if fridges are not degassed properly. There are two types of, the older fridges have got the CFCs, which affect the ozone layer, and the newer ones don't have the CFCs, but they do have the other gases, which create even more greenhouse gas effect if released into the atmosphere. So yeah, we try to collect the fridges, degas them as much as we can, but we do have our restrictions with staffing and making the whole process viable. So we are looking at support from the government for it. I just put that slide in wherever I can because it's very impactful. It just shows that how much impact a fridge has. Like one fridge is almost the same as running 2 cars per year. So yeah, as long as it is in your house and running, it's all good. But once it's on the nature strip and the gas escapes, that's where that effect comes into action. So yeah, I just like to use that slide. We are Green Earth Recycle. We are accredited with the Victorian Energy Upgrades to degas the fridges and also supply high energy fridges to businesses and households. And we are working with Darebin Council to help businesses get energy efficient fridges. This is just a slide I have put in for anybody who's interested to measure their ecological footprint. So if you go onto the website, you can answer a few questions about your day-to-day lifestyle, and it will tell you how big is your footprint. And I promise you, you will be surprised with the answer. Because many times we feel that we are doing our bit, but when you see that, you will see that it's not enough. So I would definitely love to encourage everybody to give that a go at least once. That's it for me. Thank you.
Cardboard boxes, we all see them every day in our homes, in our businesses, but it's about, rethinking about what can we create with this so that we're maintaining the value of the cardboard through its whole life. I'm Erin, I work for Bridge Darebin and I'm one of the project workers on Darebin Paperloop, and we're located in Preston. We have sort of our core products which people can use as parcel wrap or packaging options. It's a really fabulous product in that it's durable, it's flexible, it does a lot of the things that something like bubble wrap does. It just sort of looks a bit different and can be a little bit unique.
It's important for us to start with an understanding of sustainability and circular economy at a community level, and that's what we do.
There was some collaboration between us, council, and some local organisations with ideas for Paperloop. Candy at Snap Preston has been wonderful in offering a location for drop-off, collection and processing of the cardboard, and also has been instrumental in liaising with local businesses in the Preston area.
This is an example of a wonderful collaboration between a business that has to make a profit and an entity that is a not-for-profit. And it's the community involvement, and it's part of being local.
We've found that customers really want to be involved in a circular economy project. They're seeking out products that are, reused, sustainable, and they're prepared to sort of go a little bit further and make the effort to find those. The materials that are coming in, we're counting, weighing the boxes that we're feeding through the machine, and then afterwards we're also measuring the output. How much are we selling, how much are we creating, how much is going to compost. And so we're really trying to collect data that will be helpful to show how much of an impact we're having, and then also looking at how to show that this sort of project could be scalable or replicated at a larger level. One of the biggest challenges for Paperloop is sort of bridging that gap between an amazing idea that we're all very passionate about, very excited about, to sort of that next scaling up phase where we're fully operational. We've got a bustling business in the midst of all the other things that we do at Bridge Darebin.
For a community org like Bridge Darebin, we do so many different things. Circular economy projects is just one of many things. So you've got to plug that in with business, with council support, and then think about how you can make that work with the first grant that you get. And hopefully you get to a point with the project that it's got legs, and then you go to the next level.
Our future goals for Paperloop is that it does become a self-sustaining business over the next few years. We've got this product where we believe there's even more applications that we're even using it for now. So, just to look at experimenting with the product and looking at different solutions for our customers. Darebin Council's been fantastic in helping us collaborate with other businesses and organisations in Darebin. They've helped to fund one of our recycling machines and also just to strengthen the partnerships at a community level, which are integral for the success of Paperloop. All right, so would you be happy to give a box like this, a reused box, as a gift to your mum or best friend for their birthday? You might be by the end of this presentation. So I'm Erin, I'm from Bridge Darebin, as you saw in the video, and I'll start off by saying that we didn't expect to be in the packaging business. Sustainability is a strong focus of what we do at Bridge Darebin. Our environmentally innovative cafe Moonrabbit has supplied some of the zero waste catering tonight. And as a social enterprise, we're in the wonderful position that any profits that we make can be donated straight back into strengthening the community through the projects and activities that we deliver. So helping with Paperloop was a great fit for us. Here was a need that had been identified by the community. It was an opportunity to create community engagement and volunteering and connection. And it was an opportunity to solve an environmental problem at a grassroots level. So Chris, our CEO, who's pictured here, always likes a new challenge, and we thought that Paperloop sounds fun. So Q Phase 1, the mountain of boxes. So Candy, who's here tonight as well, started collecting boxes in her storeroom in Preston, and as you can see, this is less than 3 weeks worth of cardboard box donated. So I lost count, but yeah, I think we're looking at more than 1,000 boxes in that amount of time. So we quickly realised that supply of cardboard was not going to be a problem, but we also realised the awesome potential of this project. What if we could turn this waste into a functional product? So starting with operations, we set up our micro business in Snap's storeroom. And this picture here shows Candy and Alicia from Bridge Darebin working on the project and removing sticky tape. So don't be fooled by Alicia's smile there. It's not all fun and games removing sticky tape from thousands of boxes. And we have spent hours so far taking off sticky tape, scraping off shipping labels and stickers. So if you come and volunteer with us for a day, you will never look at sticky tape the same, I promise you. But as we progressed with our testing, it became clear to us that we had to change our thinking from providing a product to providing a service, which is a common concept in circular economy. So we do sell packaging, but Paperloop is all about the people and about the impact. It takes a lot of time, it's labour intensive, it's hands-on, and it takes a lot of space. It takes a lot of storage. We have a small dedicated team and amazing volunteers that give their time each week, and we couldn't run the project without. And then we have businesses who donate the materials, so the cardboard, and then we have the customers who purchase the packaging and the byproducts, so anything that's off-cut. So it's all of those moving parts that work together to create a circular solution. So this is the first shred that we did with our shredding machine, which is a very exciting day. As you can see, I got a bit impatient. It's still on the trolley that we rolled it in on. And we actually shredded, that's the box that the machine was delivered in, which was a very satisfying moment for everyone. But it is a good example of how Paperloop's using the most of material that just already exists. So, what if we didn't have to make new packaging like plastic or bubble wrap or even cardboard or paper packaging that's only been created for packaging's sake. We box up our orders for pickup or for delivery using more reused boxes. And if we do have to tape them up, we've got water-activated eco-tape that can be composted. So we're careful not to add in any materials that won't break down. Customers can reuse the product over and over again. They can upcycle it, and at the end of the day, it can be broken down in mulch or compost just at home. So that way, apart from the tape that we get donated with the original boxes, all the material that we use gets reused and diverted away from recycling or landfill streams. It's a really beautiful end product. It's simple, but it's got a really nice aesthetic. It's sturdy, it's flexible, really great alternative to bubble wrap, and every piece is unique, which is a really nice touch. It's got lots of different uses, so from wrapping food products to bottles of wine. Or, you can use larger pieces in big e-commerce boxes as padding or void fill. And even for craft activities, the other day we used it in a craft workshop and I made some jewellery out of it. So yeah, it's a really fabulous end product from a simple idea. So finally, coming back to my original question about the box, would you be willing to give this reused old box as a gift or with a gift? We obviously would, and we hope that you would consider it too. Paperloop packaging is more than a physical product. It's an investment in local people and in our environment. And it's starting a conversation with what we can do working together on a small scale with just simple changes, and then where that might grow to. So thank you very much.
Thank you to our wonderful speakers tonight. I think that we would all be in agreement in saying the circular economy is the space we need to be in. Renewable energy is the energy we need to be using. And you can see that there are so many examples of innovation popping up, and they're just growing and they're going to keep growing. And I guess, as Chris said in the video, we all need to think about our bit that we can do to support that. So we've seen some great stories, but we all are players in this space, whether it's being the lead of a new business, whether it's being the person that separates their waste items, takes off the sticky tape and goes to that effort so that product can be reused, whether it's the customer buying that product back. So I'd encourage you all to think about the parts that you can play in the circular economy story. Thank you very much.